Hello, Real Talkers. We are back, and you know who this is. This is your guy, Just Man.
And it's your girl Fearless. And you know who's next, Sierra Blue.
Welcome to another edition. And tonight we're talking about is the color purple. Tonight isn't about rewriting the movie or pretending we lived in that time. It's about looking at the characters honestly and acting based on who we are. Me, Just Man, Sierra Blue, and Fearless. Our personalities, how we move through the world, and which character do we most identify with and why? Ladies, are you ready to go down the color purple trail?
I'm ready.
Sierra Blue. Oh, you sound so red. All right. So, ladies, Sierra Blue, Fearless. Who would like to start? Y'all want me to start, or one of y'all want to start to tell us who you think you would most closely relate to?
Men first.
Now, ladies, that's a new one. That is a. I'm gonna have to look that one up because I've never heard that one. But I do appreciate it. So let me start it off then. So the one I would most recognize with would probably be Harpo. Now listen, I ain't gonna be Mister, so I have no choice really but to be Harpo. Do y'all understand that? Like, do y'all get that? Do you see my
You-
reasoning behind picking Harpo?
oh, yes. No, just man, I would probably say grandpa, because grandpa was the one that was coming
Gra-
off with the jokes. Get your life together.
Grandpa
Chickens off the porch. Get you
Grandpa
why?
was ruthless. Grandpa was real ruthless.
He's a real G.
Yes, he was. But in all honesty, though, I see parts of myself in Harpo not because I agree with his actions, but because I didn't really know how to be a man. He didn't know how to really be a man. He just copied what he saw. You see what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? And I can relate to that in some ways. So yeah, it would be Harpo for me. I wouldn't want to be missed, but I understand, how men and emotionally closed off like him taught to suppress, control, and never unpack the pain. So,
Mm-hmm.
you can see that in him too. But when it comes to that movie, being Mr. is just not a good thing to be right now. So Harpo, me and my juke joint, and that's me. That's what I relate to. And as that movie went on, he did grow and he started to learn and understand what it was to be a man. And it shows that, you may start this way in life, but in the end, you can always learn from your mistakes and grow from your mistakes. So Harpo did start off with it might rain on his head, but it ended with the sun shining down on him and him learning from his mistakes and being a better man for it. So that's why I can relate to Harpo.
Awesome.
I love that.
Yeah, I can see pieces of Just Man in that. Just the way you explained it. I think
Right.
I see myself as some portion free. Okay. Real talkers, just to tell some truth. This was my first movie that I ever was in. So if you ever look at The Color Purple, check out the chorus scene at the end of the movie. Fearless is in there. But I could see myself being Suge Avery because I love to travel. I moved probably the most in my family. Probably moved almost 30. No, I've moved over 30 times. So Suge Avery was a free spirit. She loved to have fun. She was into entertainment. She traveled all over the world. And she was straight to the point about who she was and about her business. So I
Mhm.
thought that she had a great character. I thought that she was living vicariously and even really trying to prove herself to her father, that she was
Right.
worthy of his love. Some of us have daddy issues. And so, sometimes
Absolutely.
you want to prove yourself because you're daddy's little girl. And so a lot of people can probably relate to that. But Suge Avery had this wonderful spirit that she just loved to travel and meet people and uplift women. And so I
Yeah.
really can see myself in her. She also had this demeanor about her to where she could control Mister when no one else could. And
Right.
so I like the fact that she was a strong woman and she believed in who she was. So the things that was going around her did not make a determination of who she was as a woman. So Suge Avery would have been me all day long.
So, Fearless, just to get I got to play the devil's
Oh,
advocate
you
on
know.
this one. So, you would have went in there and said, "You show is ugly."
Well, when the top dog coming in as a little dog, and then you got to put them in their place. So, now, I wouldn't have said that, but I think I would have let them know that I'm the top dog. I think that with Suge Avery, when she stepped into the room, you knew it.
Yeah.
People looked at her. People adored her. People envied her. When she walked in the
Hmm.
room, she didn't have to say anything. So I think the confidence when you step into a room tells a woman or anyone that draws people to them because you're not second guessing or trying to worry about what everybody else is thinking. You know who you are. So
Right.
yes, just man. But I want to say you showed it ugly.
Sierra Blue, what you got?
So my person would be Celie. And I resonate with Celie because, when she first came on the scene, she's in a rocking chair and she's writing a letter to God. And, that's me in a nutshell. I love to write letters to God. I love to write letters, period. She also was a teen pregnant mom. For a time, she did have a couple babies for her own father. Now, that was not my case, but I was a teen mother. And so I could see myself in Celie because she was tough, but she was afraid to show her toughness, And I grew up like that, very timid. I would hold things in. I really didn't, I guess, express myself until I got to my mid 20s, really. And so I could resonate with that, having that words inside you, but you can't, you feel like you don't have a voice. She also was strong with family, her ties to her sister. That's me in a nutshell. I love my sisters, I love my family. And she wanted that so bad. And to me, that's what pulled the movie forward, is that relationship she had with her sister. I also love her humor because, she gets at the end and she point that finger like she gonna stab Mister in the eye with it. And she let him know she is there and she's there to stay, and ain't nothing he could do about it. That's me in a nutshell. When I would get out of a crazy poor relationship, I let that man know I don't need you like that no more. I can stand on my own 2 darn feet, and I may fall, and I may be ugly at the time because you crying ugly tears. You know what I'm saying? But I'm smart, and I don't need you like that. So yeah, I could rise above like Celie did, because it's there in me, And
Yes.
Yeah.
so, yeah, I was in love with Celie. I really was. I really was.
Okay. So just like I asked Fearless a question about the character she most related to, I'm gonna ask you the same thing. Is there anything you would have changed about Celie?
Good question.
Yeah, when Celie had that knife at Mr. Throat,
Oh my gosh.
I think I would at least grazed his neck, let a little bit of blood drip out on his chest, and then pat him on the back and say, "You want me to take care of that? I can go get you some swabs." And come back and just turn it around, put that wrap around his neck real tight. Tell him it needs to be tight. Stop
Absolutely.
the bleeding. You're going to bleed to death, mister. I sure would. That would be me.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
so you took the dark path.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
So
what
that's
she
what
really
see
did.
it
I mean,
would
she had a
it
moment
would have
with
just
Yes
took a
Man.
whole she had a moment. She did. She did. She was.
And stopped her. He would have got the knife.
Yeah.
He would have got it. Because he deserved it.
Now, Just Man, I
Okay.
wanted to ask you. Now, you chose Harpo, but was it someone in the movie that you said, if I could play a character, that's the character I would have wanted to play?
I would want to play. Let's see. Thinking about what, in all honesty, the male characters in that movie was tough. Like Mr. Harpo, the granddaddy. Now that you really mention that, I could see myself playing the preacher. Only reason I say that is I'm like that with my daughter, but I wouldn't be like I'm never gonna talk to my daughters. But being that firm with my daughters, I can
Mhm.
see that in me, and the God in me and the Jesus in me, I can see that as the preacher as well. But I don't think I would have been as firm as he was to not talk to his daughter the way he did in the movie, though. But at the end, they did come together. Everything has a 360 moment. So, everybody goes through things, and you just hope in the end it brings you back to where you need to be. And that's what happened. But yeah, I would honestly, I think I would be the preacher.
Yeah.
I got a question for Fearless. So, Fearless, now you went through the audition to
Yes.
play one of the singers in the choir. Now, if you had a choice, which character would you have played?
Oh, Celie, absolutely. When the movie came out, I was actually a senior in high school. So I was very young, but it was such a challenging role. And she went through several different emotions in the whole movie. And, Whoopi Goldberg did a fantastic job. That's why she won an Oscar for it. But it was really a role where you had to really dig deep for the emotions that she had to go through.
Right.
throughout that whole movie. And so to me, that would have been a really challenging role that I would have loved to have played anytime, because I
Mhm.
just thought that, if you can go through all that, you are a great actor. If you
Right.
can portray that so that people feel, and you felt the pain that she was going through. You felt when she was sad and when she was angry and when she was glad and when she was free. You felt that in that role that she created for that particular character. And that's what makes a really great actor, is when you can say, I didn't even think that was even acting. It was just
Mhm.
that real for me.
Mhm.
And so that would have been the role that I would have chosen, to be that. Now, when I did get in the movie, because we were so young, we could
Mhm.
only do either extras, parts, and stuff like that, because we was in high school. But a great experience, to be part of something so big and know that I was part of a movie that was one of the greatest movies of all time in that
Mhm.
list as far as that. And had an opportunity to
Absolutely.
work with Steven Spielberg and Whoopi Goldberg and Danny Glover. It was phenomenal as far as the experience as an 18-year-old to be in a big blockbuster, even if it's a small role, because it was just small, but it still resonates with me to this day that I was really sitting beside Steven Spielberg with his baby,
Right.
having lunch,
Got to.
like it was nothing.
Right. I get
Yes.
that. I get that. I love that. I love that. I love that. The traits that we can see in these characters, even to
Yes.
this day. So before we, wrap it up, I got 4 questions, rapid questions. Boom, boom, boom. Fearless, you got 30 seconds. Sierra Blue, you got 30 seconds to answer it too. Up to a minute, Sierra Blue, because I know you can get long-winded. I'm just
Respect.
saying, that's what I hear. So here go question number one. Which character had the hardest path? Sierra Blue.
I would say that definitely was Sophia. Sophia, Sophia, Sophia.
Mhm.
Oprah played that part because she
Mhm.
got knocked around, abused, accused.
Mm-hmm.
Harpo just, he was trying, but she needed a little bit more attention and she was
Mhm.
rough
Mm-hmm.
around the edges. But, just like anything else, at the end of the movie, she, excelled. But she was in jail. She couldn't see her family. Kids grew up without her. Yeah, she definitely had a hard road.
Absolutely. Fearless, same question to you. Which character had the hardest path to you?
I would say the sister, because
Mhm.
she got thrown out of her home when she was young, moved
Mm.
to another country
Yes,
to find her niece
Mhm.
and nephew, and
yes.
really came out as, to me, one of the strongest roles in there. Although she was only in there in the beginning, in
Mhm.
the end, she made the impact of how Celie was able to grow and have that faith that, yes, my sister is taking care of my children. She's coming back to see me. She waited to that day to see her and be reunited with her sister. I can feel that because I'm away from my sisters. And so when we all come together, it's like we've been together the whole time. So it's
Yes.
always a get
Mhm.
together. So although I'm far away, it seems like when I come home, it's just, let's just pick up where we left off. So I can understand
Mhm.
how Celie really longed for her sister the whole time. And even though she wasn't there, she was in her memory and she kept her alive in her memory. To be able to start off with a strong role and then come back in and with the impact that she made on the main role,
Mhm.
I think
Mhm.
that's a very challenging role to do, but she did it. And it was, everybody knows that little,
Yes.
Yes.
little game they
Yes.
played at the end of it. It
Yeah.
was just like,
Right.
okay, they went back to childhood because
Yes.
that was the last time they saw each other, and now I wrap it up. So I think that's great. So,
Great. Great.
okay, Just Man, rapid fire to you. If you had a chance to really say, okay, what was the best scene in Color Purple, what would you choose?
It's so many. That's not fair, Fearless. That's not fair.
You got
There's so
30 seconds,
many.
Just Man, 30
No,
seconds.
I don't have 30. I have 2 minutes because I gave you both 30 to a minute. You took two, so I got that
Oh,
too.
Breaking your own rule.
um, I think
exactly.
I think the moment for me is when the daughter reunited with her dad. I think that is the tip where she
Yes.
was singing that and he was having church. And it was like good versus evil. And she felt where she needed to be at. And
Yes.
then when she went there wholeheartedly, openly, you know what I'm saying? He accepted her back. And that to me, that just that'll
Yeah.
break you. That that'll
Yes.
get a tear
You
out of you,
cried?
because you realize, you thought this is what you needed in life, but this is what you really needed in life. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that I think that is the most one of the most the not all because it's so
Yes.
many, but
Yes.
that is one of the ones that stood out to me.
That is
Right.
awesome. So, Real
Right to
Talkers,
you.
this has been The Color is Purple. So, if you haven't seen that movie in a long time, please go check it out. It is a classic. Of course, we would love to invite you over to our website. Please go check out our website. We have some great things on there at Real Talk, the number 4, realwomen.com. Of course, we now have our new crew here with Sierra Blue, Just Man, and Fearless. So, we're now Real Talk for Real Women with Just Man. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and also share this podcast with people that you know that can benefit from it. So thank you all so much. This has been Real Talk for Real Women with Just Man. We're out.
Bye.
Peace.